Yo, whoa! I'm gonna burn here. Whoa, okay. We gotta tone the sun down a little bit. Let's try another one. This is much better. This is much better. Woo! Man, I was gonna have a really bad tan after getting burned like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is just wonderful video, because this is understanding the simplicity in astrology. Because I'm telling you, everything astrology is not magic. It is not some secret. It is just logic. It is logic. And when you apply the logic, that's when you understand astrology. And for this particular video, I have to give my special thanks to A.V. Sundaram. He is now, I'm becoming a fanboy of A.V. Sundaram. He's just, you know what the beautiful thing about him is? He doesn't complicate anything. Just simple. Just the most simplest of thing that this thing never thinks of under most of people, including me. He just brings out, he's like, hey, look, this is what it is. Okay. Oh, I never looked at it that way. When you start, see what I got from A.V. Sundaram and reading his book is that he helps you to think like an astrologer, not think like a reader, not think like somebody who's trying to learn astrology or interested in astrology. He just says, no, you just got to think like an astrologer. And when you do that, that is when you will start to see the chart like never before. Kind of like, you know how you saw that trailer of Doctor Strange, where he's just this guy caught up in this material world, and then bam, suddenly he sees things in the most strangest of way. But those are not strange. Those are just simple things of the universe that we never knew. Same thing here. So today what we're going to discuss is understanding pretty much astrology and the houses in astrology in the most simplest and beautiful manner by using nakshatras. And nakshatras are, if you're new to this video, they are the constellation working behind the scenes of a zodiac sign. And this is why each zodiac sign may have two and a quarter nakshatras, meaning constellation under them, which can again bring out different facets of one zodiac sign, one thing. So it's important to know just the basic of what nakshatras are, which I've made a video on, so you can watch that on YouTube. And if you do not know what nakshatras your planets are sitting in, what planetary placements you have, all of these things, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. So once you get the report, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what he's talking about these nakshatras and all that. So let's get started with our understanding of simply just astrology through, the most beautiful concept. So making understanding of astrology simple and beautiful. See, in astrology, we have 12 houses. Especially in Vedic astrology, it's the same, 12 houses, 12 signs. So if you have 12 signs, you got to have 12 houses. This is why the whole 13 constellation and the zodiac sign of, what is this, Oculus or whatever it is, you can't have that, because then you're going to have 13 houses in astrology. And it's just, see, the thing is, when science tries to, see, for scientific purposes is great. Okay, there's a 13 constellation. But when you're trying to add that in astrological sense, oh, am I this zodiac sign? You're just completely screwing the foundation of super science, not just science, super science. And that's what you got to understand. So whenever you see this new scientific concept comes out, if it's not mentioned in the classics of the classics, because they were far superior than Stephen Hawking of today, far superior than Einstein. They knew about, there's more things to relativity than you can even fathom, which is written already in the texts. But nobody wants to believe that, because, hey, that's this sacrilegion to undermine science and undermine our great scientists. I mean, they're great, but sometimes you can't take what they're saying as part of like, okay, this is it. They're not divine sages. They're not connected to other dimensionally beings who know everything. So that's one thing. Now, regarding astrology, let's try to understand this, okay? In astrology, especially Vedic astrology, which I follow, there are certain concept of houses, okay? So like the first house, fifth house, ninth house becomes known as the Dharma Houses. Dharma meaning the righteous path your soul is to walk on in this life. And by following that path, you will be able to get closer to God. That's what really the main purpose of astrology is, which I'm going to tell you why. Logically, the main purpose of astrology is not prediction. It is not trying to find out when you will have a child, when you're going to get married, when you're going to get a promotion, when you are going to travel. I mean, now when I'm really looking and reading some of the in-depth and the most simplest text on astrology, you really feel like, wow, I'm doing the most degrading thing in astrology if I'm just simply talking about things like marriage and promotion. And if you are also asking for that, that means you truly do not know what even astrology is. So obviously, we all know astrology through books, magazines, through television, which is like pop culture astrology, which is the fad of astrology. And just my own experiences, reading all these books. I mean, I'm reading 3-4 pages of one book every day that you see in my other videos, sitting in the background in my office, all these books. My mission is to complete those books and get new books. And from there, this beautiful gem came by V. Sundaram, Understanding Nadi Astrology. So, in astrology, the first, fifth, and ninth house become the Dharma houses, which represents your existence. Why your existence? Why does Dharma house represents your existence on this plane? Because in order we are this solid shape, right? We are this shape. We are something that you and I can see. We can see each other. It's like this thing, little remote. This remote has a form. How does a form come into play? How does this form come into play where then you have a heart here, you have lungs, you have stomach, you have kidneys? How? Well, in order for anything to exist as a whole, it needs to have minimum of 3 sides. The triangle. So if you don't have one side, this is not a solid shape because everything can come in and go out. If a heart is here, it can just leave. So you need a second side to create this triangle, which is now a solid shape. And I know somebody's going to comment for sure saying that, oh, you're with the Illuminati now. Okay, man. So this is the solid shape. A triangle is the essence of existence. It represents who we are, creates a shape. So in astrology, the first, fifth, and ninth house creates you. You as a being. Spirit. Physical form. Astral form. It's your present, past, future. So present is this. You came on this planet, the ascendant, right? Then ninth house represents the past. The past dharmas that you have accumulated, that you are to fulfill, that you are dealing with. And through you dealing with those past life karmas, now you go to the fifth house, which is you're going to be creating your future. So fifth house is actually that future. But that's not what this video really is about. But you have to understand this concept of dharma. Then there's something called artha houses. The second house, sixth house, and the 10th house, which is known as the artha. Artha, to work, to perform. It is the karma, the action. This is why second house represents wealth, money, earning. That's what you do now, right? Sixth house represents everyday work life. Your everyday struggle to make ends meet. Your everyday struggle to accumulate things in your life. Then 10th house represents your highest of karma. It represents that highest of image you're going to portray in this world, the highest of impact you're going to make into this world. So then that becomes a triangle. If you take the 2nd, 6th, and 10th house in a circular chart, in the diamond chart, even in like the South Indian chart, it is that triangle. That becomes one house. Then the 3rd one is kama, the desire. The desires, 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. So what are desires? This is the desire for you to be in this plane through this triangle of existence. Now you have desires. And desires are not bad. Desires are needed. You know why? Because we are created out of desire. According to the Hindu religion, Vishnu had a desire to create, have a creation. So it was a desire. How is it bad? It's a desire. A desire is what helps us manifest things in our life, whether for the future, for the present, or paying off the past. So then you have this 3rd, 7th, and 11th house of kama, which is desire to communicate, right? If I'm here alone on this planet, what am I going to do? Who am I going to communicate with? I'll go crazy. So desire to communicate, 3rd. Then if I'm alone, I'm going to go crazy. Why? Because I need someone. I have a desire to have somebody opposite to me so I can interact with, not just a marriage or relationship. I just want people to interact with. I want to share my thoughts, my feelings. I want to fight. I want to get drunk and have a good time. Then the 11th house of desire. I have a desire to accumulate things. I have a desire to have friends, network circles who can help me achieve my highest of goals, highest of desires. And especially, either back in the days, it was a desire to have food, vegetables, desire to have books. Now it's desire to have money, because that's what gets the ball rolling. That becomes one of the triangles of the astrology, kama houses. Then you have moksha houses. Moksha meaning getting out of the cycle of death and rebirth, which is then controlled by the 12th house, 4th house, 8th house. This is why it's a moksha triangle. 12th house is the exit, going away. 12th house represents like that astral realm, seeing the world from outside of the realm of this earth. That's the 12th house. 4th house represents your inner emotions, your happiness and comfort. What is your most truest and the happiness and the most comfort that you felt in your life? Was with your mother. Not buying some new toy, not having some sexual relationship. It was really through your mother. This is why mother is divine, because she was your creator. So 4th house becomes moksha because you are trying to be close to the creator. Okay? And then the 8th house represents the mystery house. The house that you don't know what is there. Is death there? Is rebirth there? Is some mystery of life there? It's the house of mystical energy, which is really mystical because we don't know. That's why it's mystical. And that mystical energy represents the lotus on which Vishnu stands. 8th house is where the lotus is. Where does lotus form? In the gutter. 8th house represents those places. That's where. So God is in the most minute, the most smallest, and the places that you can never think of. That's where God exists. So now you know these 4 concepts of these 4 houses. But, how did these houses come to be? See, we understand when I started learning astrology from my uncle, okay, well, these are the Dharma houses. Fine. They're Dharma. Why are they Dharma? Why? Why did the Rishi say these are the Dharma houses? Sure, he got the divine message from God, some other divine being. But that divine being must have had an explanation why I am giving you this as a artha house or as a Dharma house. So now think about it. From my Ketu video, many were intrigued by this concept. This is why I'm trying to explain this. This is where nakshatra comes into play. Nakshatra is what tells you why some things are why they are. This is why, especially I think just the 2nd chapter in Bhirat Parashara Hora Shastra, it is Rishi Parashara advising his student, I forgot his name, it's with M, Mrityu something. He says, before you go any further, have in-depth knowledge of nakshatras. So that means there must have been some just a separate school for nakshatras. Maybe Rishi Parashar said, you must go to this Rishi that I know. He's an expert in nakshatra. And once you go to him, then you come back and you go further. So he must have been a student. After the fact, he learned about nakshatra. He came to learn about Jyotish. So if you know nakshatras, the sequence of nakshatras, the very first Aries sign, which is the first house, the original first house, the fifth house, which is Sun, ruled by Leo, and ninth house Jupiter, which is ruled by Jupiter. This is the first Dharma Triangle. Well, the first nakshatra of this Dharma Triangle is Ketu. Ashwani, Magha, Mula, ruled by Ketu. What is Ketu represents? Ketu represents the opposite of Rahu, is to not go further out looking for worldly possession to achieve your goals. It is to go inwards and to understand God and to understand your true purpose. Your existence is to serve that higher supreme, is to understand this higher supreme, because you're not separate from him or her. You are it. So this is why Dharma becomes the thing for an Aries ascendant, especially. See, ascendants are zodiac signs. Which sign was rising in the first house on the eastern horizon? So it becomes, for an Aries person, this is the Dharma. Okay. So Ketu represents, this is why Dharma comes through Ketu. Ketu represents spirituality. Ketu represents mysticism, occult, mystery, moksha. Ketu is a significator of moksha. You want to get moksha, you follow the Dharma triangle of Ketu. And I'm going to go deeper into this Ketu thing after I complete this one part. Second is artha, right? Which planet rules the artha? The very first nakshatra. Sun. Kritika. Uttra Falguni. Uttra Ashada. The first nakshatra of the artha triangle. So Sun. Sun is what? Power, authority. So in the family, the second house represents the family too, right? Besides earning money. Well, the job of artha is to do work where you can become powerful. And this is why Sun represents not only the significator of career, head of the family, it's also the significator of social welfare, social reform. Politics, not politics, more like public service. So which house is public service? Sixth house. And then the 10th house is your highest of karma. Sun, the power. Where are you going to use your power? How are you going to use your power? So the sign of Capricorn says, I am status. Well, who has the highest of status? It is the Sun. Without Sun, nothing exists. So Sun becomes the very first nakshatra of the 10th house. This is why Sun becomes the Karaka, significator of profession, status, and power. This is why Ketu becomes the significator of moksha, spirituality. Then you look at Kama. First nakshatra is ruled by Mars in all the Kama houses. Mriksira, Chitra, and Dhanishta. So this is why Mars is known as a planet of desire. So it's very important to know why Mars is desire. Mars is desire because Mars represents our action and energy. So in order for you to do something, like I want to achieve this desire, what's the first thing you need? Right after you have this thought, what is the first thing you need? You need to have action and energy to complete those things. This is why Mars is showing us action. Our desire is to perform this action. My action of saying something is communicating. My action of saying hello to you, to hug you, or to hit you is my ability to wanting to relate to you. and my action to go out and grab what I can get, to go and take action in what I need to accumulate, is what Mars becomes. Then you have the Moksha Triangle. 12th house, 4th house, 8th house, which is the original sign of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And it's the first nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. And what did they say? If you want moksha, a guru will lead you to moksha. You can open up your third eye by yourself. You can open up your kundalini by yourself if you had the right proper guidance. But to receive moksha, you have to have a guru in your life. Without a guru, you will not be able to achieve moksha. You will not be escaping the cycle of death and rebirth. This is why a presence of a guru in one's life is extremely important if you want to understand moksha and liberation. And this is why when you ask about astrology, why is astrology? What is astrology? You need to think like an astrologer. This is how an astrologer thinks. Why did this happen? Remember the video that I made? Why are you this ascendant? Why were you born as this ascendant? Not what it means. That's the first thing that we say, right? Oh, I'm an Aries ascendant. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. That's so true. Wow. Okay. Oh, I'm a moon sign Scorpio? Wow. Why? Okay, that's great. That is me. But then we forgot to ask the question. An astrologer would ask the question, why am I a Scorpio moon? Okay. Why am I, born with Sun in Libra and not Virgo? Then you go even deeper, which can literally take you a lifetime to understand this. Why is it that I was born with an ascendant at a particular degree? Why was I born at a 15 degree of Sagittarius ascendant? Why wasn't I born at 14 degrees, 13 degrees? Okay? So when you start thinking like this, that's when you kind of start opening up your Jyotish vein. They call it the Jyotish Nadi. Once you start dwelling into these things, that is when you know that, okay, you're wanting to learn astrology. You're wanting to know astrology. And I'm so glad that I've come across this simplest of information. Because once I understand it, then I'm able to provide it to everybody. And these are the kind of thought process, information I want to provide in that online school that I'm building. Like, first of all, not what is astrology. Why is astrology here? Not what is astrology. We all know what is astrology. I can give you a 10-page explanation, but why does it exist? That's the first thing. So things like this, when you start thinking like this. Now, the other way I want you to think is this. You're a Taurus ascendant, right? You're a Taurus ascendant. What is your dharma? What are the dharma houses then for you? Then 1st, 5th, and 9th house becomes your dharma houses, right? That's the first thing that comes to your mind. That means you have to be in powerful positions for your existence. But then think about it again. Think like on the most basic of level. Where are the original dharma houses placed for me in my chart now? Where are the most basic of dharma houses placed? Well, that becomes your Moksha Triangle. Your 12th house, 4th house, 8th house. So then you ask yourself, is my dharma really to achieve power and powerful positions in my life? Or is my dharma to receive moksha? Because remember what happens with Taurus ascendant. There's more tendency towards having material power, material authority, security, accumulating and hoarding wealth. That becomes the basic karma for Taurus ascendant. Because then the 5th house will be ruled by Virgo, 9th house will be ruled by Capricorn. But is that really leading you to God? Is that really leading you to understand yourself better. So this is why it's so important that if Taurus people want to truly understand themselves, they're going to have to understand their true dharma, which is now becoming their ability to get moksha. That means the dharma position of original 1st, 5th, and 9th house is now in the 12th, 4th, and 8th house. That means they're going to need a guru. They're going to need a guru for them to understand their true dharma in life. Otherwise, they'll just be like, in banking professions and stock market professions and political professions or executive positions and business management professions. You're not going to find any guru there. And they'll be lost. They'll just be like, what is astrology and all that, man? I need to get my bonus for all the loans that I sold this year. Then Aquarius. If you look at Aquarius ascendant, so what is their Dharma triangle? Well, it is Aquarius in the 1st house, Gemini in the 5th house, and Libra in the 9th house. Is that what their Dharma is? Is to really talk and communicate about society and helping society at large? Is their true Dharma is to express themselves creatively and scientifically? Or it's just that the karma that they're here to bring, the karma triangle, right? The 1st, 5th, and 7th house is always that karma triangle. But where's their dharma? The dharma becomes their karma. This is why an Aquarius ascendant, regardless of what they're doing in their life, their desire is always to just understand God, is to understand that oneness with God. So whether you are a celebrity, a politician, an IT professional, for you, the desire is not money or wealth. The desire is actually to relate to other people, to communicate with other people, to achieve goals so you can understand God. That's their dharma. Their karma is now the 1st, 5th, and 7th house. That's it. They're just here to pay back what they're supposed to reap. So if one's supposed to get into an accident at a certain age with this ascendant, well, that's why they were also born, is to pay back that karma, besides their desire to be that Aquarius person. But the dharma becomes the karma. Then you look at the artha for, let's say, Pisces ascendant. For Pisces ascendant, their existence is to understand moksha. They're really bringing the karma of achieving moksha. And this is why their artha is work, the work that I must do, that work that needs to be done, is towards finding God. It's towards earning money through religious deeds, spiritual deeds, deeds through which you get closer to God. So once you understand this from the basic of the first thing that I told you of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, keep switching that triangle. And then keep switching the karma triangle for each ascendant. Keep switching the dharma or the artha triangle for each ascendant. But that dharma triangle, that's what it represents. How you will find God. For any ascendant, how will they find God? You don't see the 1st, 5th, and 9th house. You see the original dharma sign, the dharma triangle, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which is fire. God exists through fire, through bombardment and fire, this universe was created. So you're not going to find God on earth or air or water. He exists in fire. So you want to understand God, go towards and do the work, or have the desire, or find the guru to understand God. That's what it is. How do you understand? Do you want to get closer to God? Let's say you're a Gemini ascendant. You want to get closer to God. So then you have to find that dharma. For a Gemini ascendant, they need to have a desire. They need to have a desire to know God. Not if like, oh, I'll just wait till I become religious. I'll just wait till I just, find some teacher and I start learning philosophy. No, they have to have desire. When they have a desire within themselves, like, God, I need to know you. I need to know what this thing is. I need to know why I'm here. I need to know why I exist on this plane. Well, that's when you start understanding God. Not by doing the work, not by even finding the guru, but to have a desire first. This is how you understand everything in your life. So you can take any ascendant. Like for Leo and Sagittarius ascendant, again, their dharma is to know God. That's why they were born, to understand God to the highest level. They may forget it due to the yug that they're in, due to the desh kal patra, the time and the society that they're living. But that is their true dharma, is to get closer to God. Their desires don't matter, nothing else matters but to understand God. That's why astrology exists. The key for astrology is to understand God. So let's say if you take Capricorn ascendant. So for Capricorn ascendant, their Moksha Triangle becomes the Dharma Triangle. That means to understand God, for a Capricorn person, they need to find a guru. Without a proper teacher, a Capricorn ascendant will find it very hard to understand who Krishna is, what Mahabharata is, what Bible is, what anything is. Just like a Gemini needs to have a desire first. So for a Gemini ascendant, if they do not want to know what religion is, and a guru comes in front of them, guru may have a hard time showing this person that this is what God is. For a Gemini, it is important that their desire becomes that first. So this is what the basic understanding of astrology is. So let's say and in anywhere you see, let's say the sign of Capricorn. Let's say somebody has a Capricorn occurring in their 5th house. I mean, you're just going to read that as a 5th house of children, right? But you forget the most basic of essence. It is the original 10th house. For them, their status lies in the 5th house. Their highest of karma that they're going to perform in this life lies in the 5th house, not in the 10th house. 10th house, they're going to find the original essence of karma. They have this desire to create professional relationships. That's what their highest of karma you think it is. That their highest of karma is to do either creative things or create a relationship. No. That's just their desire. Their highest of karma is in the 5th house, which is politics, which is attaining education through which they can find status. Counseling, being a great counselor at things. Because a counselor requires a powerful personality. Because when you counsel someone, what are you trying to do? You're trying to convey them of something. That this is not what it is, this is what it is. So it becomes that powerhouse for them. Understand astrology from this perspective, and you will have your lotus start opening up, which is that Jyotish Nadi, the vein of astrology. And look at any divisional charts like this. I mean, I'm telling you, just me applying this concept of BCP, which is known as Padam Chakra, Brigu Chakra Paddhati, where one house is one age. I mean, man, just left and right. I keep seeing evidence. Like some of you who have gotten a consultation from me, I ask them, did you get married on this age? Did you get married in this age? Or did you have children at this age or in this age? And then I ask them, somebody said, I have a really bad relationship with my son. Can you please tell me why? Well, the first thing I asked them, is this your second son or the first son? I'm seeing the second son. Then they replied, they said, it's my first son, but our second pregnancy. That means they must have had a miscarriage before. So when I saw the trouble with the second child, I wasn't using some some sloka, some yoga or something. No, I was using the most basic of things that I've learned in astrology just by A.B. Sundram and BCPs and whatnot. And I'm like, damn, this is the whole world of astrology that has existed for 20,000 years probably. And we have never used it. We don't use it because we're looking at it from a point of view of a reader, an enthusiast, a fan, but not as an astrologer actually. Once you start looking at things as an astrologer, you become an astrologer. And there's no need to have a certificate. There's no need to be praised by a guru that you're an astrologer now. Once you understand the basic foundation, you are an astrologer. That means you know your prarabdha karma, your sanchita karma, your kriyama karma. That's why astrology is so important, which I have to again thanks A.B. Sundram for making it so simple in his Nadi book, which was less than 80 pages or something. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So yeah. So thank you guys for wasting your time on me. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you can waste your time more. And if you need a consultation, my books, reports, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.